Also, something that was a little bit embarrassing over the weekend. Trevor Lawrence was doing a post-game press conference after Clemson had lost to Ohio State. Now, Trevor Lawrence probably going to be almost for sure is going to be the first person taken in the NFL draft that comes up in, let's see, April, I think is when the draft happens.
May, right in there, yeah.
April or May.
Well, hold on. The kicker girl from Vanderbilt?
Yeah.
Not going number one?
That's a good point.
I mean,
you know why she's not going number one?
She was the player of the week.
Sexism. That's why.
VO.
That's why. Clear, unadulterated sexism. After all, she kicked an extra point.
Right, in that kick off.
A 20-yarder.
Jacksonville, you're on the clock. Make your decision in this PC world.
We pick with the first pick in the draft. What's her face from Vanderbilt?
So does the crowd clap?
Yes! Yeah! Yes! We can get an extra point out of her.
Yes!
Woo!
I wonder how many extra points the Jaguars missed this year. We're going to find out.
It's so great. We should push for her to be. Otherwise, what is it? But sexism. That's all it can be. Right?
I don't know what else it could be.
I mean, she burst onto the scene, was a massive star. It's all anybody talked about for about 2 weeks. She should be the number one pick in the draft.
Pat Gray. Listen to this. Okay. The Jaguars had... this article is not showing me, but I know in November they had already had their 6th kicker of the year.
Oh, you're kidding.
So I'm trying to find out how many they ended up with.
Is that because of injuries or just guys who didn't perform?
Terrible.
Well, then, she should absolutely
So there's a need.
There's a need there. They don't need a quarterback. They need a kicker. Get what's-her-face from Vanderbilt. Is it Sarah?
Sure.
Yes. Yes, it is. Sarah who? Fuller.
Yep.
Okay, Sarah Fuller. Yes,
Yep.
with the number one pick in the NFL draft. The Jacksonville Jaguars choose Sarah Fuller, kicker, Vanderbilt. Yeah! Yeah! Yeah!
Do we clap or do we
Now
do we gasp?
we're headed to the top.
And the Jets would still screw it up at number 2. And we're going with a 4th string linebacker.
Jeez. That's unbelievable. So anyway, they're interviewing because of sexism, the presumed number one pick, Trevor Lawrence, quarterback from Clemson. And something slightly embarrassing happened. Here's a reporter thinking she's on mute, and she doesn't like the mustache that Trevor just grew.
A really good game.
Poor Trevor needs to shave his stash.
Please mute if you're not speaking.
That's a great reaction from him.
Thank you.
Poor Trevor needs to shave his stash. Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, I mean, she's right about that, but that's not maybe the time you want to take yourself off mute accidentally.
Yeah, there's talk that the Jaguars will be able to play less in London overseas because of the injection of having him as their face of their franchise and what that could mean to the Jaguars financially. And now maybe they won't be so dependent because they're always a part of these London games every year.
Really?
So big happenings down there. And how much money is he going to save on income tax as opposed to if the Jets had taken him?
Oh, yeah. Well, 12% of his money.
Right, playing in, New Jersey.
Oh, it's 12% just... Is it 12% state tax, or is that just the New York City tax?
Yeah, well, that would be New Jersey, right? And I don't know. I think it's not quite as high
as New
York City. But he's also playing in a division that doesn't have a lot of income tax because he's playing Houston every year and in Nashville. So he's saving quite a bit of money by the Jaguars picking him than the Jets.
And we're assuming that's happening. It may not. I mean, if the Jacksonville Jaguars come to their senses and take Sarah Fuller instead.
I'm sorry. There was a lot of assumptions on my part.
Yeah, there were. There were. We can't necessarily totally assume that they're going to do the wrong thing and take the best quarterback in the country. They could have a kicker who once made an extra point. They could have her. So I don't know how they pass on that when they had 6 kickers in one season.
Right. Well, that was in November. I mean, I think as many more. As Rob says, they only have to pay her 70 cents on the dollar, so you could keep the salary cap in check there.
Right.
But you know how they call the last pick Mr. Irrelevant.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what if somebody picks her? Do they have to say Miss Irrelevant? And would you dare attach the word irrelevant?
No, you can't.
To a female?
Not that it's now that it's a woman. If she were the 240th pick or whatever they do in this, the last pick is in the 7th round, then you couldn't use that phrase any longer. Jeez, I mean, really, you couldn't. I'll bet you couldn't. Now she's not going to be, of course, drafted by anyone. But if she were, all bets are off. You can't say anything negative about her.
You couldn't see someone
the best thing that ever happened
in 2021 as a PR move, maybe signing her after the draft and inviting her to camp, just so the cameras will be there. And I'm telling you, it could happen.
Of course it could. Of course it could. Anything can happen in this new reality.